Before, Isagi only had a small area to grow crops. Now, with so much space available, he got a bit carried away. He planted more than he could handle, and soon realized he didn't have enough hands to help with the harvest. Even with Maria's assistance, they couldn't keep up. Maria suggested creating another golem to help, but Isagi was out of magical stones. Determined to find a solution, Maria decided to ask her parents for help. While she ran off to seek their assistance, Isagi continued working in the fields. As Isagi was busy, Naya approached him. "Good morning, Naya," he greeted cheerfully. Naya, astonished by the vast field, exclaimed, "Our village has never had fields this large before," Isagi explained. "I started working on these fields just yesterday with the help of alchemy." Naya was baffled. "How did you manage so much in just 2 days? And how is it already harvest time?" Isagi smiled. "It's all thanks to alchemy." Naya was skeptical about his answer. Just then, Maria returned with her family, ready to lend a hand. Kelsey confirmed Isagi's claims, seeing the thriving plants with her own eyes. The modified crops were growing even in their village. Naya, filled with excitement, asked if Isagi was harvesting them. Isagi responded positively, and Kelsey noticed how much had grown in just 1 day. Isagi apologized for going overboard in his excitement. Kelsey praised Isagi for his work, amazed that in their village, which often faced food shortages, the crops were now so abundant. Sienna was concerned about the large harvest, but Naya decided to help with the collection. Everyone started harvesting together. During the process, Naya wanted to try a tomato and asked Isagi for permission. Isagi agreed, and after tasting it, Naya was delighted by how delicious it was. She asked Isagi if it was really a tomato, since it tasted so much better than the one she knew. Isagi explained that the tomato not only grew faster, but also had higher sugar content. Maria decided to try one too. Isagi noticed something unusual in Maria's behavior and teased her, which led to her chasing after Naya playfully. Despite the antics, everyone got along well. 3 days later, after the harvest was complete, Isagi thanked everyone for their help. Kelsey wondered where Isagi would store such a large harvest. Isagi planned to share it with the villagers. Sienna suggested throwing a feast to celebrate the bountiful harvest and introduce Isagi to everyone. This way, it would be easier for him to integrate into the village. Isagi doubted the idea at first, thinking it might be too much trouble. Maria explained that the feast would be informal, just inviting people to the central square and setting up some tables and chairs. Isagi agreed that this would be a good idea. Kelsey began preparing for the feast that night and encouraged everyone to get ready. Isagi, realizing the feast was happening so soon, worried if everything would go smoothly. As they headed to the central square, he was concerned about whether people would come since he was still new to the village and a human among beast men. Mercia was confident that the feast, scheduled for today, would attract everyone. It had been a long time since their village had such a gathering. When they arrived at the central square, they saw it packed with villagers. Isagi was amazed. Sienna asked Isagi to bring the ingredients so they could start cooking right away. There were so many ingredients that everyone decided together what dishes to make. They planned to cook a variety of delicious meals. Kelsey called Isagi to the stage and introduced him to the whole village, explaining that they owed the recent abundance of food to him. Isagi nervously asked everyone to treat him kindly. Kelsey praised Isagi for his speech and added that there were plenty of ingredients, so everyone should eat as much as they wanted. Kelsey then asked everyone to welcome their new resident, Derwin, and drink to his health. The central area was so crowded that Isagi couldn't even find a place to sit. Kelsey invited Isagi to join them at their table, where Mercia served him a bowl of vegetable soup. Isagi appreciated the soup's taste, enjoying the sweetness of the carrots, the onions, and the spiciness of the black pepper. Naya loved the rich vegetable soup as well. Because of constant frugality, they were even using vegetable peels. Naya was happy to see so much food on the table. One villager shared his concern that once the feast was over, the village would return to their usual meager meals. Another villager scolded him for bringing up such thoughts during the feast. Isagi understood their worries, knowing that the food security in each household wouldn't improve immediately. He stood up suddenly and shouted that the villagers didn't need to worry. He assured them that they would soon be able to grow the same selectively cultivated crops themselves. These crops will thrive even in poor soil and are resistant to cold and disease. Isagi plans to share these seeds with everyone. Naya, amazed, asks if she can grow them at home too. Isagi assures her that with proper care, she can. The villagers don't understand why Isagi is doing so much for them. Isagi, an orphan, knows the pain of hunger and the struggle to survive. He was abandoned at a church in the capital, fought for every crumb, and lived in constant hunger. He believes everyone deserves to eat well and enjoy delicious food. The villagers apologize for doubting him. Isagi understands their skepticism because he would have felt the same in their position. Encouraged, the villagers start asking for seeds. Isagi calms them, assuring he is enough for everyone. No matter how strong or great someone is, everyone is equal when facing hunger, Isagi says. He continues, explaining that even after becoming an alchemist, he focused on food research. When you eat poorly, your heart hardens. You forget why you live, he adds. He believes that if the villagers take over farming, their food situation will significantly improve, motivating him further to develop agriculture for a prosperous village. Kelsey encourages everyone to drink to the village's new hope. Meanwhile, in the Ramus Empire, reports about magical tools and goods production reach the prince. He notices no updates on Isagi this month. Curious, he asks why he's interested in this daring commoner. Garaz, his advisor, explains that Isagi has been dismissed for not contributing to military needs and only digging in the dirt. The prince, angered by Isagi's perceived foolishness, acknowledges that Isagi's agricultural advancements could address the empire's food shortage. Thus, he entrusts Isagi with solving the food crisis and, in turn, boosting the military budget. The prince scolded Garaz harshly. He demanded Garaz either find an alternative food production method or bring Isagi back. Meanwhile, the villagers thanked Isagi and Mercia for the massive harvest. The villagers were thrilled as Isagi shared the selectively bred seeds, leading to a farming boom in Pania village. If all went well, the village would soon enjoy bountiful harvests. However, Isagi was worried. Mercia asked what was bothering him so much. Isagi explained that the fertilizer they used was an improved version of the imperial fertilizer, and it might run out in a few years. Therefore, they needed a locally producible fertilizer. While buying imperial fertilizer was an option, it was expensive. It was better to make fertilizer from local materials. Mercia agreed, noting that relying on external fertilizer wouldn't solve the root problem. Isagi decided to gather the fertilizer used in Pania village. Mercia went to ask the local farmers about their fertilizers and requested them to share their supplies. They found 3 types of fertilizers, but only a small amount. Mercia explained that due to infertile soil, few people farmed. Isagi thought the amount was sufficient, but also needed raw materials with more magical properties. Mercia suggested going to the forest to collect natural materials. Despite knowing the forest's dangers, Isagi wanted to go alone, but Mercia volunteered to accompany him, stating that as a servant, she needed combat skills to protect her master. Isagi agreed, and they ventured into the forest together. In the forest, Isagi noticed the flora was different from the empire's, likely because they were in the Beast Kingdom. During their journey, they encountered a strange star-shaped fruit tree. Mercia explained that there was fierce competition for survival in nature, causing animals and plants to evolve. She warned Isagi about touching the tree. Mercia explained that the star-shaped fruit would release a sour substance if disturbed. Isagi, using his alchemist skills, accurately assessed the situation. Alchemists have the ability to examine materials thoroughly, and Isagi found a plant that could be a useful raw material. However, this plant was highly dangerous and couldn't be approached directly. Isagi had an idea. He decided to cut the plant's stem with scissors. After that, he carefully collected the fruit, known as the star fruit. Using a needle, he pierced it slightly to gather the acidic solution in a test tube and stored it in his magic pouch. Isagi was thrilled with this successful harvest. Mercia was surprised and noted that in the Empire, they were not allowed to gather such materials themselves. It was always said that it was better to leave material collection to knights or adventurers. Just as Isagi was explaining this, they encountered a monster. It was a ferocious beast with sharp fangs, ready to attack. Mercia asked Isagi to leave this monster to her. Astonished by her actions, Isagi watched as Mercia defeated the terrifying creature with just one powerful strike. She explained that she couldn't let Isagi face additional dangers from such monsters. Isagi knew that beastmen had superior physical abilities, but Mercia's combat skills were exceptional. With her immense strength, Mercia could have served in the imperial palace.